Basketball games are officiated by human beings. Both the officiating crew, the table crew, are human beings prone to making mistakes. Mistakes can happen. That's what we're looking at today. Let's get better as basketball officials by looking at mistake-based scenarios. Let's go. Stick around. Greetings. Welcome back to the Basketball Rules Expert. We look at play scenarios so we can get better and more expert as we take to the basketball court. Let's get started quickly today with our very first play scenario. A1 is fouled and entitled to 2 free throws. However, the officials indicate a 1-and-1 bonus situation. The first attempt is unsuccessful. B4 rebounds the ball and passes it to B2. The error is discovered with B2 in possession of a live ball near mid-court. The officials rule that since Team B securing the rebound and passing to a teammate constitutes no change in team possession, A1 will receive the merited free throw with players in lane line spaces and play resumes from the free throw. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Right? So we have a situation where A1 is fouled and entitled to 2 free throws. Right? Maybe we have a loss of communication, misperception by the administering official, but it announced to the players 1-and-1, right? Players are all ready to go. Bounce the ball to the thrower. First attempt is missed. Opponent grabs the rebound, dribbles the ball into the front court. Maybe a horn from the table. Hey, ref, language from the table that says, hey, ref, that was 2, right? And the officials stop play. Team B has possession of the ball in the front court. In this instance, the officials are correct. We are going to, since there has been no change of team possession, it can seem that there has been since Team B now has the ball. But in the case play in this situation outlines that there has been no change in team possession by rule. And we would resume the game with the second free throw, players in marked lane spaces, and the game would resume from there. So in this instance where the officials made that ruling, were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. Our crew is off to a tremendous start here by getting this play right. A little non-intuitive since Team B has the ball. A little non-intuitive because of that fact, but the correct ruling on this play has been made by our crew. We're going to resume the game with the second free throw and players in marked lane spaces. Let me take a moment here to thank you for joining the Basketball Rules Expert. My name is Greg Austin with A Better Official. We craft video to make basketball officials better and take control of their officiating career. One of the ways we do that is we look at National Federation of High School Basketball rules on the Basketball Rules Expert. We try to lift those rules off of the printed page, breathe life into them, simplify, clarify, and amplify so we can all get better as basketball officials. Oh, that's a lot of words, man. With the score tied and 2.3 seconds remaining in the final period, A1 is fouled and awarded 1-and-1. A1 misses the first free throw. B1 grabs the rebound and attempts a long try for goal. The try is unsuccessful, and the teams prepare for overtime. Before the overtime begins, the officials are notified that A1 should have received 2 free throws instead of 1-and-1. The officials rule that the error is correctable, the second free throw is awarded, and its results will determine if overtime is played. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Well, this is a big time decision we've got to make here, right? The teams are preparing for overtime, right? Our table says, hey, ref, sorry, but that was actually, should have been 2 free throws instead of 1 and 1, right? This is going to, confront us in this situation. What is the correct ruling? It seems as though the game has ended. The activity from the 4th period has ended, and everything going forward is going to be part of overtime, right? It's a tie score. How are we going to begin overtime, right? But recognizing that the correctable error situation occurred as part of the 4th period, right? And since that's the case, we must complete that activity before we can get to a subsequent overtime, right? So that's our situation on this play. The correct ruling would be that this is within the correctable error time frame, right? The ball became live and then became dead, but has not yet become live again. So we're within the correctable error time frame. The merited free throw shall be attempted. It would be with the lane cleared, and the result of that would determine whether overtime is played. So in this instance where that's what the officials did, were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. Right? This would be potentially a challenging situation, one that we're going to have to I would say we're going to get coaches together and say, here's what our situation is, right? So that everybody we're not just going to say, hey, team A, give us a thrower. That guy's going to attempt one and go from there, right? We need to be high communication. We're going to be using rules book language by rule in this situation. Correctable is correctable within the correctable error time frame and shall be corrected. The way we're going to resume is that player is going to attempt their free throw, and the result of that will determine whether overtime is played by rule, right? And really emphasize to both coaches, that is our ruling in this situation. Go administer the free throw. If it's successful, ball game is over and we are off the court, and we're going to have a potentially stunned, as you would expect, right? The team was preparing for overtime, right? So we want to lay a lot of groundwork for why this is the correct ruling, etc. Let's see who's up on the show supporter big board this week. Chuck Kiezulas, David Peterson, Peter Blum, Darren Hansen, and Papa Les O'Connor Jr. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? I'm going to make sure that there's a link down in the show notes below, and I'm going to put one up above. A1 is fouled. Team A is awarded the ball out of bounds. The foul was Team B's 7th team foul, and A1 should have been awarded a 1-and-1 bonus. Team A scores on the ensuing throw-in. As the ball passes through the net, the officials are informed of the error. The officials rule that awarding the goal and both the goal and free throws would be unfair to Team B, and the error shall not be corrected. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Well, it would seem very unfair if we're going to say, okay, we made a mistake, we gave you the ball, you scored a goal, and now we're going to go back and say, no, we should have attempted free throws as well? That doesn't seem fair, right? This is the scenario that when new officials read it, it's like, can that really be right? Right? But that is the correct ruling in this instance, right? Merited free throws were due. And it's a great example, as we talked previously, of the game will go on, right? And we have a window, once the game has started and progressed, where we can go back and fix, and that is how we would fix in this situation. The merited free throws shall be awarded. The resumption of play, which we would need to note in any correctable error scenario, is Team B with a throw-in on the end line and the ability to move. A non-designated spot throw-in, that is where the game stopped with the ball going through the basket. Of course, in this instance where there was a goal scored, the ball became live, basketball was being played, a goal was scored. When the goal is scored, the ball becomes dead. So we have to be alert to the fact whether or not the free throw had begun. If we had a player, let's say, take the ball out of the basket, step out of bounds, and the official begin their count, then at that point, the ball would be made live and our ability to correct would be ended. But in this instance, that was not the case, and the correct ruling should have been awarding the merited free throws. When the officials didn't award the merited free throws, were the officials correct? Yes or no? No. No, they were not. Their sense of fair play overrode their understanding of the rules. A great opportunity for a young official to step up and say, hey, wait a minute, right? And help a crew get things right? So emphasizing the fact that we need to understand these rulings and how they can happen in the game. Don't forget to join us on the live stream. We live stream every Wednesday and Friday during the basketball season. Jump on the live stream with us, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, Wednesday and Friday. Basketball rules expert on Wednesday, 5-play Friday on Friday. Put your voice in the game. Join us live, jump in the chat, and let's all get better together. Okay, I'm going to have to call a 30-second. There are too many words on the screen for me to read. A1 is fouled. The scorer informs the official that Team B has committed 10 team fouls and that the 2 free throw penalty is in effect. The official administers the free throw and states and indicates 2 free throws. The first free throw is unsuccessful and the second is successful. B1 has the ball out of bounds for the throw-in. The scorer informs the official that there were only 9 team fouls on Team B and that the penalty should be 1 and 1. The officials rule this correctable and shall be corrected. The second free throw is canceled and play is resumed with an alternating possession throw-in at the spot nearest to where the ball was located when the stoppage occurred. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Right? One of the challenging things about correctable error situations is we have to do something we're not used to doing, right? We have to rewind the clock and figure out what has just occurred, right? I had a situation in my game last night where the table says, hey, that last foul down here, which was like 2 minutes ago, who was that on? I'm not used to thinking in that fashion. I'm used to thinking in the moment and what has just occurred, right? And this situation forces us to think, well, what is the sequence of events? What has occurred? And put things together, right? Should have been 1 and 1, erroneously given 2. And the second was successful. The first was unsuccessful. We need to know all of those factors on this play in order to make the proper ruling, right? So what if the second free throw, which was unmerited, had not been awarded? What would have been the point where the game should have resumed, right? With the missed free throw. The second was unmerited. We cancel that and go back to that spot, right? So if on a 1 and 1, we had a missed free throw and a stoppage of play before there was team control by either team, then we would resume with an alternating possession throw-in. So that's what we should do in this instance. So in this instance where the officials did exactly that, cancel the free throw and use the alternating possession method to resume play, were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Back on track, our officials were correct by rule with the administration of the correctable error procedure in this instance. A1 is fouled, but erroneously is not awarded 2 free throws, even though the automatic bonus is in effect. Team A is given a throw-in. A1 inbounds the ball to A2, who is tied up by B1, resulting in a held ball situation. The error is discovered following the held ball call. The possession arrow is pointing towards Team B's basket. The officials rule that the lane is cleared for A1's merited free throws and play resumes from the point of interruption, which is an alternating possession throw-in by Team B. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? This is going to be some high processing on this play, right? We have a failure to award merited free throws, resume with a throw-in. The throw-in results in a held ball with the possession arrow pointing to Team B, right? Anytime we have a correctable error scenario, we have to note what is our point of interruption. In this instance, our point of interruption would be this moment in time where Team B was to attempt an alternating possession throw-in at the spot nearest the tie-up, right? Has the result of the error awarding a throw-in instead of merited free throws led to a change of team possession? This case play outlined here, 2.10.1F, helps us understand that in this instance, our point of interruption would be the resulting AP throw-in. And so since there has been a change of possession, we would then clear the lane, award the merited free throws, and resume at the point of interruption. As opposed to if the possession arrow in this instance was to Team A, that would mean that there has been no change of team possession. Let's think that through. Let's say Team A has the arrow in this instance. Then what is our result? In that instance, the possession arrow would point to Team A. There would be no change of team possession, so we would resume with players in marked lane spaces while the free throws are being attempted, and we would not, of course, switch the arrow since there had been no alternating possession throw-in. Wow. So in this instance, where the officials ruled correctly, were they correct? Well, if you rule correctly, you're going to be correct. And yes, they were. This is the correct administration in this situation. This could lead to a lot of processing as we evaluate what has occurred here. We're going to slow down. We're going to communicate, use fact-based language if we're, as a crew, unsure about exactly what's going to happen. If you know the ruling on the court, it's a great chance to assert yourself and say, this is what we should do. We're going to do this, 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 this. Declarative statements can help in moments where our crew potentially is a bit confused. A1 attempts a goal from behind the three-point line, but the covering official fails to give the successful signal after the ball goes through the basket, and the scorer records only 2 points. Team B inbounds the ball and proceeds to score. The coach of Team A goes to the table and requests a 60-second timeout to discuss the error. The officials rule that the extra point is scored, the 60-second timeout is not charged, and the game continues from the point of interruption. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Well, this is a fine how do you do, one that may or may not have occurred to me recently. Right? So let's say in this instance, a shot comes from the lead's primary coverage area in a two-person game, and the lead either fails to mark and score or fails to mark even on a three-point attempt. Maybe their brain recognizes it. They thought they had just worked a three-person game and that the trail would cover that. For a moment, they have a brain fart, and they don't indicate that there has been a three-point goal. The goal is scored. Team B inbounds the ball and proceeds to score. the coach of Team B goes to the table and requests a 60-second timeout after the ball has gone through the basket for the opponent, right? So this really is a duration of time has occurred here. We're going to have to really kind of think through exactly what has happened to determine if we are within the correctable error time frame, right? The ball passing through the basket and not being counted as a goal or as a three-point goal does not, when the ball then becomes live at that point is when our correctable error time frame has started, right? The ball has become live. Team B brings the ball up the court. They put the ball in the basket. The goal has scored. The ball becomes dead. Our correctable error time frame ends with this moment right here. If the ball becomes live, the correctable error time frame is no longer in effect. And if the play is stopped here, we are within the correctable error time frame. The crew may say to the official who had the primary coverage on the play, was that a three-point goal? And they say, yes, it was. And didn't I mark it or score it? Whatever. Human beings are involved, right? And we determine that it was a three-point goal. We add it, and we would continue from the point of interruption, which would be a Team A throw-in on the end line, non-designated spot throw-in. So in this instance where that's exactly what the crew did, was our crew correct? Yes or no? Our crew's doing very well. Yes, they were. This is the correct adjudication on this play. If we think through the length of time that would occur here, right? Maybe Team B brings the ball in and they, miss a try. They pull the ball, they grab the rebound, pull the ball back out, and maybe it's been 45 seconds since the actual goal was scored, right? We just have to evaluate what has happened. When did the ball become live? Did the ball become dead? Did it become live again? And analyze the situation for what it is, and our crew did that on this play 100%. Of course, I have a video presentation about correctable errors. If you'd find that value, I will put a link above for you to check out. Team B is charged with a technical foul for an excess timeout or an excessive timeout. During this stop clock, I'm going to start over. Why? Because I can. Team B is charged with a technical foul for an excess timeout. During this stopped clock interval, A1 is replaced by A6. A1 then returns to the game and attempts the 2 free throws, which are both successful. After the second, Team B rushes to the table requesting a correctable error review. The officials rule that A1 was legal player at the point, and the resulting action stands. Were the officials correct? Yes or no, right? So during play, let's say a Team B player on the floor holding the ball, timeout, timeout, timeout. The officials grant the timeout. Interesting. Okay, we've done a few things wrong here, have we? Right. Oh. Team B is charged with a technical foul for an excess timeout. Yes, right. Dead ball period. And we have a A1 replaced at this point by A6. Let's say the coach has A6 attempt the first free throw, right? They are due 2 free throws. Who can shoot a free throw? Any player or eligible substitute. If we have a substitute that's going to be involved in attempting free throws, that player can come in at that point. Let's just say that happened in this situation. Otherwise, why are we bringing players in before the free throws are attempted? Let's just go with that. After the second, after the first free throw, then A1 reappears at the table, and the coach says, I want him to shoot the second free throw. We allow the substitution. They make the free throw. And then the coach says, whoa, that's not right. That player cannot attempt that free throw, right? Rush to the table. basically they are requesting a timeout in that situation for review of a correctable error situation. The officials make a determination that, no, this is a legal player by rule, right? Even if the substitution is illegal, a player, once the ball becomes live, becomes a legal player by rule. In this instance, no change will be made and the points will score. So in this instance, where the officials ruled that though the substitution was illegal, the result will stand. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. This would be the correct administration in this instance, right? It exposes the fact that mistakes can be made. Mistakes can be made. They can occur, and they will occur with human beings administering the game, scoring the game, timing the game, etc. Mistakes will be made. And this offers us that though a mistake was made, by rule, this would be the correct administration in this instance. That coach would be charged a timeout and could use it. Basically, understand that when a coach goes to the table to request the review of a correctable error situation, they are, in a sense, requesting a timeout, and we are granting the timeout in the review of that correctable error situation. If the review is quick, then they get to use the remaining portion of their timeout. If the review leads to a determination that the coach was correct and it is a correctable error situation, then we would rescind the timeout. But the actual going to the table is similar to a request and granting. To start overtime, the officials, by mistake, allow the jumpers to face the wrong direction. A1 controls the tap by tapping the ball back to A2. A2, realizing the opportunity, dribbles to the correct basket and scores an uncontested goal. The officials realize their error and rule the goal canceled and re-jump to start overtime. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Well, that certainly seems fair, right? We allowed the teams to go in the wrong direction. One team gained an advantage by the fact that they recognized they were in the wrong direction and scored an easy basket, right? That's got to be something, ref, right? But the rules, those pesky rules, they rise up against us, right? In this instance, even though a mistake was made, allowing the teams to face the wrong direction in overtime, if the same situation occurred to start the game, same situation, right? In this instance, the correct ruling should be to allow the scored goal, make sure both teams are aware of which goal is theirs moving forward, but the game would proceed. So in this instance where the officials canceled the goal, I assume put time back on the clock and had a re-jump, were the officials correct? No. Even though that may seem fair in this instance, that would definitely be an incorrect ruling in this situation. Don't do that, ref. Come on. Right? And that brings, to bear one of the things when a mistake is made that, could potentially negatively impact one team or the other. Our first reaction is, no, that's my screw up, so I'm going to fix it by doing something. But the rules say, hey, officials are going to screw up. Here's what you are allowed to do to fix those screw-ups. Sometimes we can quickly remedy, but in other instances, our ability to rewind the clock, go back in time, make everything right again is just not there by rule. So understanding the rules to officiate the game, understanding those rules is helpful. That's why we have the show, so we can all get better together. Team B is up by 2 when A1 is fouled with no time on the clock in the fourth quarter. The horn sounds immediately after the foul is called. Team A is not in the bonus, but erroneously A1 is awarded a bonus and makes both free throws. Team B controls the jump to start overtime, and B1 scores to make it 64-62. Before the ball becomes live on the subsequent throw-in, the scorer alerts the officials regarding a correctable error situation. The officials rule the error to be corrected by canceling the 2 erroneous free throws, and since overtime started, the extra period will be played. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Right? This is a high-stress situation. Come on, it's overtime, right? But we have a correctable error situation that's thrown at us. Hey, ref, actually, right? Again, how much time has passed since we, made the original ruling on the floor, right? Time will have passed. We're thinking about a lot of things. We're preparing for overtime. We begin overtime, and then something happens that says, hey, ref, we have to think back about 3 or 4 minutes ago when something happened. Remember what happened? Right? This is going to be super challenging for us to think through, okay, time frame. So how would we analyze this, right? A foul occurs at the horn, but prior to the horn, the player is awarded, it's not even a shooting foul. Okay, so it's not a shooting foul. They are erroneously awarded 2 free throws, even though they shouldn't have been awarded marriage and free. That's a tough mistake to make, and nobody notices it. But they make both free throws to tie the game. A1 fouled, 2 free throws awarded, make both, tie the game. Period ends. Team go to their bench. They prepare for overtime. They come out. We toss the ball. They're going in the right direction. We toss the ball, and one team dribbles down and scores. Horn. Hey, ref. We just discovered something. Right? This is a really wild scenario, but it forces us to then say, okay, are we within the correctable error time frame? Since the correctable error occurred, the ball has become live. When does a ball become live on a jump ball? When it relieves the official's hand. One team has gained control. They went down and they scored. The ball has become dead. Live, dead, subsequently live again? No. So even though it's like between periods, etc., just having that simple roadmap says this is correctable. Okay. What is our proper correction? These were unmerited free throws, attempted and scored. We cancel the unmerited free throws. Okay, great. Well, then Team B should have won in regulation. So we're going to rule Team B the winner? No, because we know that by rule, once overtime has begun, overtime will be played. If subsequent information comes in, hey, ref, we just determined that we actually erroneously awarded points in the fourth period to one team or the other. That's fine. If it's something that we can correct it. Whether it's a scorer's error, which we can correct at any time, or this situation where a correctable error scenario has occurred, which forced overtime. But once we've begun overtime, overtime will be played. So in this instance where the officials ruled that we would correctly cancel the 2 erroneous free throws and continue with the extra period, were the officials correct? Yes or no? Indeed, yes, they were. This is a super tough scenario, but this is the correct ruling on the play. We like crews getting it right. The score is tied with 2 seconds remaining in the game. A1 is awarded a bonus free throw. After the ball has been placed at the disposal of A1, B1 disconcerts A1. The free throw attempt is missed and rebounded by B2. The timer does not hear the official's whistle sound and permits the clock to start and time to expire. The officials rule that the timer put 2 seconds back on the clock, but also award A1 a substitute throw for the disconcertion by B1. Were the officials correct, yes or no? This is not a scenario that's going to occur every day. Let's review. The score is tied with 2 seconds remaining. A1 is awarded, let's say, a 1-on-1 bonus free throw. After the ball is at disposal, B1 disconcerts A1. The free throw attempt is missed, rebounded by B2. The clock, the timer, not hearing the official's whistle for the disconcertion, allows the clock to run. And the official says, okay, all right, here's the situation, here's how and the horn sounds and time has expired. In this instance, the official says, I have definitive knowledge about how much time was on the clock, and we're going to put that time back on the clock. We are going to have a substitute free throw in this situation due to the disconcertion by the opponent, and that's how we will proceed. And since that is the ruling on the play, were the officials correct in this instance? Yes, they were. Definitive knowledge by the official of the time remaining and the fact that the clock should not have started are the key components on this play. The officials are allowed in this instance to put that remaining time back on the clock because they have definitive knowledge of that fact, and our officials in this instance were correct. Team A leads by 1 point when they inbound the ball in their backcourt with 12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. A1 passes into A2. During A2's dribble, B2 deflects the ball and the trail stops their count. A2 then dribbles in the backcourt until the horn sounds. The officials rule that the game is over. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? 12 seconds on the clock when the team inbounded the ball. The ball remained in the backcourt under team control for those 12 seconds with no whistle. The officials rule the game is over. Right? The opposing coach is going crazy. That's got to be 10 seconds. You've got to put 2 seconds up. You have definitive knowledge. You have definitive knowledge that there was 12 seconds and that 10 seconds or 12 seconds expired. Whew. Rough scenario. But covered by rule. In this instance, if an official has a relatively slow count, a relatively fast count, and it conflicts with definitive knowledge that we have related to a clock on the wall, the fact that a human being is administering the count overrides the clock on the wall. In this instance where the officials ruled the game to be over, despite the fact that there were 12 seconds when the ball came in, were the officials correct in this instance? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. Supported by case play. In this instance, whether the officials stopped their count when they should not have, erroneously stopped their count, or simply had an extremely slow count, or simply failed to have any count at all. Case play says this is the correct adjudication of this play scenario. Have a good count, and don't discontinue your count inappropriately. That's a lot of words. Trailing by 4 points, Team B quickly scores with approximately 5 seconds remaining. Team A expects to just withhold the ball out of bounds for the throw-in with the time remaining, since it's less than 5 seconds. But the timer mistakenly stops the clock shortly following the Team B goal. The game clock reads 4.0 seconds remaining. The official sounds the whistle after reaching a throw-in count of 3 to address the timing mistake. The officials rule that the game clock be corrected to display 1 second. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Right? So it's an end of game scenario. All the stakes are super high. Team is ahead by 4. Their opponent scores, and they are now ahead by 2. The coach says, don't throw it in, don't throw it in. Right? Team just is holding the ball. When the clock reaches 4, the timer stops the clock inadvertently. The official has a count from that point, and it's recognized. The officials say, well, what definitive information do we have? I have a definitive amount of time based on my count. That time shall be subtracted in this instance, and we will resume with a throw-in with 1 second remaining. Now this gives an advantage to the team that was down 2 points. They at least have a chance to win the game when they shouldn't have, but we have information presented to us. These things will occur. Our timers will make mistakes in the game. How do we handle those mistakes? Etc., etc. In this instance where the officials used their definitive knowledge about time remaining to subtract time off of the clock, were they correct in the administration in this situation? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, they were. This would be the correct administration. Subtract the time off of the clock, and we can get the play correct. It is Team B's turn for the next throw-in under the alternating possession procedure. By mistake, Team A is given that throw-in. Team A releases the ball on the alternating possession throw-in, but before the ball is legally touched in bounds, Team A or Team B commits a foul. The officials rule that since the alternating possession throw-in did not end when the foul occurred, that the foul will be penalized and the arrow direction corrected. Corrected? Were our officials correct? Yes or no? Right? It's an AP throw-in scenario. We inadvertently give the ball to the wrong team. This is a human error that occurs in the game where the ball is given to the wrong team for a throw-in. And we know that that can only be corrected until the throw-in ends. But in this instance, our alternating possession throw-in, a foul occurs during the throw-in. And our officials rule that since the AP throw-in did not end, that we are going to then be able to correct the fact that we had given the ball to the wrong team. So in this instance, I'm a little confused by this play. In this instance, were our officials correct? Yes. Yes, they were. Right? We would penalize the foul by either Team A or Team B and recognize that the alternating possession arrow was not used in this instance and correct that. Obviously, the throw-in that results from either of those fouls would not be an alternating possession arrow throw-in. And so our officials have an opportunity here to get the play correct. A1 is at the free throw line for the first attempt of a bonus situation. 2 Team B players occupy the first marked lane spaces. The offense chooses not to have anybody occupy any marked lane spaces. One of the 4 Team B players attempts to move into the second marked lane space, and the free throw is missed. The officials rule a lane violation on Team B. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Not elegantly worded this scenario. We have a situation where the offense chooses not to occupy any marked lane spaces. Let's say the team has a big lead. The coach says, everybody back, right? There's 4 players in marked lane spaces, 2 in the appropriate first marked lane spaces, 2 in the third. And prior to the free throw, one of the players moves down and occupies the second marked lane space. So we have 2 in the first marked lane spaces, 1 now in the second, 1 now in the third, on either side of the lane, right? The free throw is attempted. The officials rule a delayed lane violation. The free throw misses, and the officials rule a lane violation on Team B. Is this the correct ruling? Is there a restriction that prevents opponents of the thrower from occupying the second marked lane spaces if the teammates of the thrower choose not to? No, there is no such restriction at this level. That can be different at different levels, right? So this is a great example of a situation where a high school official may be working with somebody who works collegiately, and they put this ruling into the game, and you say, hey, I'm going to stand up for the game, and I know the correct ruling here. This is not a violation by rule, etc., right? And communicate that fact. You have a chance to do that. So in this instance, where the officials ruled a violation, were our officials correct? Yes or no? No. No, they were not. Our officials have done great today, but in this instance, no. This is the incorrect ruling. There's no restriction, right? There's a restriction on the maximum number. Opponents of the throwers may have a maximum of 4 players in marked lane spaces. They must occupy the first marked lane spaces. But other than that, if the teammates of the thrower do not choose to occupy one of the spaces that they are entitled to, our defensive players can move into those spaces without penalty. B1 fouls A1 just as the first quarter ends, and then A1 retaliates and intentionally contacts B1. A1's foul is a technical foul as it occurred during a dead ball. Team A is in the bonus. The officials, by mistake, administer the penalty for the technical foul before the free throws by A1. The officials rule that since all merited free throws were attempted, it does not constitute a correctable error situation, and the second quarter will begin with an alternating possession throw-in. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Right, so we have a foul so close to the horn that the clock shows 0. During the dead ball after the foul, player technical foul is ruled. The officials erroneously administer the technical foul free throws before they administer the foul, the free throws for A1 due to the foul. The officials say, well, wait a minute, all the merited free throws were attempted, so this is not a correctable error scenario. But they also realize that the previous, even though the technical foul occurred after the horn, the activity from the previous period had not been finished, so the technical foul free throws would be part of that period. And so in this instance where that was their ruling, were the officials correct, yes or no? They finish strong. We finish our episode strongly by being correct yet again. A lot of correct rulings by our crews today. Awesome. I do appreciate you joining us today for the Basketball Rules Expert. Now would be a great time, if you haven't already, to hit like, subscribe, and notify. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Get the video in front of more basketball officials. That way we can all get better together. Let's see who's up on the show supporter big board this week. Chuck Kiezulas, David Peterson, Peter Blum, Darren, Hansen, and Papa Les O'Connor Jr. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? I'm going to make sure that there's a link down in the show notes below. And you know I'm going to put one up above. We've got it. Additional video content is available for you here. A great choice that I've made. Another great choice that YouTube makes. You make your great choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody.